10 seconds remaining. Reserve time. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining.
Why, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We've brought in reinforcements here for Gods as we continue Kingdom versus Trust Game 2 of a best of 3. Got a little weird towards the end there. The Desolator Tiny, you know, whatever it takes to get the buildings down, but the Tiny IO did it, guys, so...
That was a weird ending to it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dota 2, man.
Thank God you're here, LD. I needed some salvation.
Yeah, this is the craziness, so I'm just going to log out of Steam Friends here. And, alright, production value. Let's go into the game. Kingdom versus Trust, Game 2.
Okay, so this time around, Kingdom will say no IO for you. IO Tiny was, I think, one of the reasons Signature.Trust did so well in the Frankfurt Major Qualifiers. Without it, maybe they wouldn't have even made it into the playoffs, you could argue. They were in that tough group with Mineski and MVP Phoenix. They managed to beat MVP Phoenix in the tiebreakers, but no IO Tiny this game, and it really feels like one of their staples and possibly their best strategy. It's not really I mean, it's a strategy in the sense that it is
10 seconds remaining.
Overall, like it kind of defines your drop, but it's something that every team knows exists, so it's not like anything unique by any means.
No, when you really need a win, you know, you bust out the big old rock man and just start hitting structures. There's just so many plans with the Tiny IO. You can gank, you can rat, you can straight up just team fight and dominate if you're ahead, so
yeah,
it feels like a versatile opening, something that fits Lakel's well. In addition, as somebody who just always wants to be on a hard carry, well, this is kind of your hard carry that can also get involved early, which a lot of his traditional ones, Team-Age Morphling, maybe not so much. So, alright, second stage of bans here, the Undying getting removed by Trust, then the Earthshaker by Kingdom. Very standard openings, I would say. The Disruptor, a slightly unusual support pick this early, especially since it doesn't really hard counter anything that's that hard to deal with, but good against the Queen of Pain, I suppose, so interesting to see them grab the Disruptor quite early.
Yeah. Disruptor reminds me a bit of what teams were doing when they were picking up Jakiro as far as against Tusk, because Snowball, normally when you're snowballing into engage or to save a teammate, it sets up those line AoE spells like Fissure, Ice Path, and Disruptor in this case with a kinetic filled Static Storm, so in some ways he can be a nice little counter pick to the Tusk. But it's very much not like a direct counter. It's one of those very situational things where it may work in one fight, but at best it works in one, maybe two fights in the entire game. So it's not like you can't just pick hero as a counter pick to Tusk. You have to really try and fit him into your draft. And with the vision advantage from Night Stalker, Glimpse is more likely to be able to be pulled off. So an Ags Night Stalker with Glimpse to catch out heroes is very powerful. So we'll see what Signature.Trust can look to do. Radiant side, Shadow Fiend picked up, so they've got a really strong mid laner now.
No, my pro will be happy.
Yep. And that's something which I think has changed a lot with Sig.Trust. It's no longer just about Lakel's. We always talk about the Lakel's 4 Protect 1, but it feels like, if anything, if you look at their last like 20 plus games, it's been MyPro getting more farm than Lakel's in a lot of those games.
Well, Shadow Fiend definitely a hero that could keep that streak going, as will most likely be matched up against the Queen of Pain here for Kingdom. They don't have the best defensive or roaming supports. I guess the Night Stalker could potentially come in and help them out a bit early. Well, see if Trust want to run that offlane or support. Third pick now for Kingdom. Still haven't shown their hard carry as of yet. Still a support to go, potentially an offlaner, depending on what they want to do with the Tusk here. So, taking it slow with the overall strategy for the draft. Interestingly, nobody seems to want the Ember Spirit, and he was just all the rage over the past week and a half or so, but neither team has a particularly strong Ember.
That's such a good hero now. Less so, I mean, there's been no direct buffs to him. It's all indirect with nerfs to the Queen of Pain, Leshrac, Lina, etc., and the items those heroes like to go. Ember Spirit kind of fills their role just by his pure skill set and not needing the same items those heroes need.
He's a very high damage, bit squishy, mobile carry that flash farm, can gank, can do a little bit of everything, but Not so reliant on Bloodstone, which definitely helps.
And realizing what the hero can do with like the new Boots of Travel build up when you've got the 45-second cooldown TP, where you've got such high uptime as well. So I feel like Southeast Asia is lacking Ember Spirit players because it is a hero which is first pick worthy. We saw that at MLG when teams were first picking the hero non-stop. And
it's so weird to just go from watching, most of us at the house were watching MLG over the weekend, and pretty much every game it's like, this is a good Ember game. This is a really good Ember game. This is an okay Ember game. It's never like, oh god, Ember's gonna get owned here.
Even when you're against like Night Stalker and all these silences and whatnot, it's like, it's always like, it's a tough Ember game, but it's not a bad Ember game. It's like, oh, it's gonna be like, Ember has to play well, but it's never like, oh, Ember's gonna get screwed this game because of all these heroes. It's just like, it's always a matter of he's gonna play well. Yeah. It's never like, oh, he can't do anything because he's been counterpicked, which is where the hero feels really strong right now.
Well, I suppose that's where maybe MVP could have an edge moving forward, with QL as I guess the only Ember Spear player that I can really think of from the... Mineski maybe runs it occasionally, I want to say.
Yeah. I don't think the hero's that good as a mid laner. He's more of a safe laner. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen MP run it, though.
No.
They can swap those two in theory.
Yeah, exactly. You just put Q in the safe lane. I think MP is actually better as a mid laner than a safe laner, so... And that's where MP's been quite disappointing lately, is because it feels like they've got two mid laners and no safe lane player.
Lord Furion now, the grab for Kingdom. His Highness.
You got off-lane Prophet, mid Queen of Pain. Surely the last pick Ember is fantastic if you're king. I mean, I guess you're against Disruptor Night Stalker. It's like that's one of these things we kind of go back to what I was talking about. It's like you're against Disruptor Night Stalker. In past days, it's like, oh, Ember's a terrible pick because they've got two silences, really good catch. But realistically, Ember's so strong right now, it just means the game gets a little bit harder for Ember. The hero itself is still very strong despite having silence.
I mean, I honestly think Trust could run Ember and it would be amazing this game. There's a Wyvern and a Tusk, sure, but Tusk's not that reliable, and Wyvern, until he gets a blink, doesn't have the mobility. And
there we go, LD, you're right.
Pick Ember. That's shocking that he gets through that late.
And it's one of those things, like, I mean, people always give, like, the joke, like, Arteezy Ember Spirit, yada yada. The heroes, there's some, like, the best Ember, there's a kind of clear difference between the best Ember Spirit and a good Ember Spirit player, but a good Ember Spirit player is still a pain in the ass to deal with. You don't have to play this hero to, like, its maximum potential to have a high impact on the game. And we're gonna see. I think, Lakel's handling the Ember Spirit for Signature.Trust.
All right. Well, curious to see how we'll do in the laning stage here, as up against a pretty offensive draft with pretty much all of these heroes designed to do well in the laning stage. So Kingdom pulling out something a bit different with the Nature's Prophet, and for Trust, some go-to heroes like the MyPro, Shadow Fiend, probably the big one, but definitely an interesting little twist to Lakel's Ember.
Yeah. Not a hero Lakel's known for playing, but you look at Kingdom, what they've got to deal with it. Winter's Curse, once Wyvern hits level 6.
5 seconds remaining.
Outside of that, you've got a Quap Orchid, and when Quap decides to get it, which could not happen for a while, Quap may even decide that she's got to go for a defensive item because you're against Disruptor Night Stalker. So if you go for the Orchid first, you're very vulnerable to the Glimpse Silence or just a Night Stalker Silence in general. So, very good game for Ember played.
All right, we'll have a little pause here. Introducing the team. Signature.Trust, leading 1-0 in the best of 3. We've got MyPro on his go-to Shadow Fiend. Boombell, the Dazzle. Abba will be playing the... the Night Stalker. We'll have Lakel's on the Ember Spirit. Jabs, the Disruptor. And then over to the team of Kingdom, where Drakan will be handling the Tusk. Lee Hong Ki, the Luna. Lord Boons will be... What the hell are these cosmetics? He looks weird. Nature's Prophet. Quite the beard going on. And that leaves Fruits on the Wyvern and the... who am I missing?
It's their mid, which was...
Queen of Pain.
Yeah.
Sim Ma Chai. So mostly standard meta heroes, though kind of unusual picks for the teams in particular a little bit. So... Should be an interesting match.
Yeah, I don't know if we've seen any Lakel's Ember Spirit really at all. Not a hero he's known for playing, but I mean, you look at what EG did. Like Arteezy, obviously, the joke's always like, oh, Arteezy Ember Spirit, but you've got to be able to play this hero as a safe lane, as a carry player for your team. Right now, in this day and age, if you can't play Ember Spirit, that's a big gap in your team. Not having a Brood player in your team. It's one of the best heroes for that lane that you've got to be able to fit into your lineup. So that's where Lakelz is going to play out the Ember, and I feel like less so like compared to the Brood, it's like it's slightly easier to play, and also with Signature.Trust, less about Lakelz being that one position carry that they all protect. MyPro can always fit into that role, and heroes like SF, Wind Ranger, Queen of Pain, whatever it may be. So Signature.Trust are not uncomfortable putting Lakelz into more of like a secondary carry kind of role.
I'll see if Lakelz has anything to say about it as far as farm goes, but early on, Shadow Fiend definitely going to be the man farming up the stacks as Drakan moves, leading the squad of Kingdom up in the Radiant territory, preparing for the bounty runes to spawn, and looks like Shadow Fiend will be given his own freely, so nice passive start here from both teams. Just want to get off to a good start mid, get your early bottles, and Signature.Trust content to camp out the bottom side of the map. Teams have a little time to chat out their sponsors, spam their Twitch emoticons, and you know, get their minds right for this game of Dota 2. So game 2, Signature.Trust, City 1-0 in the best of 3.
Yeah.
So, bounty rune. Back to the mid lane. Let's see, is anybody going to block? Boombell will do a bit of creep blocking. Looks like Drakan wants to potentially snipe a courier here.
Very early.
The boots first.
Yeah. You need that as a melee hero, even to bring down the ground courier, you need the boots, so... It's gonna be a struggle. You don't need to bring out the early salve as a SF when you've got Dazzle there to protect you, so more likely we see a bottle rush, so I think Draken is wasting his time here.
Depends if the Dazzle ferries it back, though. Sometimes you do see players get a little lazy. They just send it right down mid. They're so eager for that extra regen.
And often you see like you go for the Wraith Band plus 2 branch plus 2 pull tangos, and then you buy the salve from the bounty room money gives you the salve, so you're using the courier at like minute 0. But this time around it's not gonna be minute 0, it's gonna be like a 45-second bottle because of the build he's gone for.
Well, Drakan has seen his items, so I assume he realizes Shadow Fiend's rushing bottle. It's probably coming soon because he used a lot of mana for raising, so good awareness by Drakan.
See if he can get it.
See how aware Lakelz is going to be. Courier, this isn't striking distance.
It's not easy to get this because of...
He's going to try for it. Shards coming out. One.
Whoa!
And... almost. Just too late.
You got the bottle. It's
Uh-oh. Is it worth it, though? MyPro may get the first blood. You will.
That's value for MyPro.
If you get the bottle, then it's worth it, but he gets the bottle out.
So Courier's what, 350 move speed? Hero with Tusk with boots is like 350-ish as well. Yeah, 355. So if you got the full Eye Shards block, it would have been successful there. But
nice play by Khan, and right back to mid. Chucking out the shards again. He wants MyPro. Quap does not have blink. Gone for the 2-0-1 build, so cannot assist. If he could have come right back and killed the Shadow Fiend, that would have somewhat salvaged his honor.
Slightly good news is that you gave SF his first blood, but he can't use that first blood money to buy boots or any items to help his lane because the courier is out of action for now.
Getting aggressive here top as Fruits engages on the Abba and Boombell and punishes the level 2 Night Stalker. Luna having an easy go of it so far. In fact, all 3 Dire Cores are sitting at the top of the CS charts, and in that first blood, even more important for Team Trust early on. Now with the extra gold, courtesy of the courier kill, they'll be able to pick up their 4 items nice and early. We'll see Drakan controlling the top rune. Is an illusion. The bounty was already grabbed by MyPro. He proudly marches back towards mid. He will have his courier back in only 1 minute, so it seems pretty much all of the damage that could have been done by a courier snipe down the drain. Doesn't need the bottle crow, isn't going to need the boots. Will just be happy as a clam here in the mid lane.
You get the boots bunny a lot faster because of the first blood, but it's like, well, I don't need the boots. You can't get the boots because of the courier, but courier's back. You have the money you made up that you lost out, so he's gonna have a bit of an edge over the Queen of Pain once he gets the courier back alive, and we'll see if Sig.Trust can make much use of that. But I mean, SF much more early game farming based heroes, so I don't think we'll see him trying to get aggressive, try and take it to Kingdom at all.
Big jump in by Simmal. MyPro, he's going to need him to back up a little bit, but reinforcements have arrived in the form of the Nature's Prophet. Unfortunately, MyPro, too much auto attack damage from the souls, and then meanwhile, Abba caught out by the shards in the top lane, but there is no snowball as Tusk is still only level 1. 3 minutes into the game, so they're not able to grab the kill on the Night Stalker, and Grave was even available should Kingdom have chosen to dive, so 2-1 the score around the map. Bottom lane now abandoned, and Lakel's your leader in terms of CS. The Radiant Courier now back just in time for MyPro to get some items.
MyPro kills Quap before he dies, so he gets a solo kill experience out of that. That's a big win for him on the mid lane, even with NP getting a counter solo kill with Queen of Pain dead and the kill in the SF.
Alright, well, I missed it, but yeah, level 2 on the Tusk. He had the snowball, which they're lacking earlier. Dazzle off the top lane. Looks like he was going to scout the 4-minute rune, and it's a great time for Kingdom to move in. Boombell in the river, trying to guard the bounty rune. He'll grab it. Don't have the combo available here. Not able to roll in on the Dazzle, but he will be forced to grab the rune, denying it to his own Shadow Fiend, and we may see Simma heading down to try and steal this one away soon. No, not just yet. Be careful not to let the Shadow Fiend strut up to runes for free.
I feel like the big advantage for Signature.Trust now is their safe lane is a free farm Ember Spirit, and they are contesting the off lane. So not only are they securing free farm for their carry, but they're preventing the opposing team from free farming their carry, and their mid laner is doing just fine.
Moving in on mid, MyPro though kept alive for now. Very well played by Boombell. Has a heal in just a few seconds. Chucks out an extra raise. They're going to get Lord Boons on the way out. 2-for-1 exchange, and looking for more. The triple kill inbound is a huge heal bomb from Boombell. Smashes Fruits to the ground, and this is without the Ember getting involved. Now level 6 nearly. Gone for just the max raw damage build here with the level 2 chains, the level 3 flame guard. Not wasting any points on a sleight of fist for potential laning stage dodges. Doesn't need it. And now, imagine we'll see the TP come out, and likely Lakel's look for those opportunities to rotate and get active on the map.
A level 6 Ember Spirit's all you need this early on if you feel like you're behind, especially. And even when you're ahead, it's like, hey, our Ember's level 6. Yeah, you want to normally wait till he's level 7, 8, 9, and 10 minutes in the game is to me when the Ember Spirit comes online, but you can always use him earlier than that if you want to. And with how aggressive Kingdom are playing dive in the mid lane, an Ember TP can easily turn these fights around. And the big worry is when you TP into, at this stage of the game, you're not going to get a kill out of it. But an Ember Spirit, you're almost guaranteed a kill because he's got the Fire Remnant mobility.
Well, finally, the 4-minute regen gets grabbed at 5:50 on the dot. With Nature's Prophet, a Night Stalker, and a Queen of Pain in the game. Not sure if you see that. Boombell trying for the self-grave here, but trapped within the shards. Isn't going anywhere fast as Pop blinks away, but MyPro might be able to finish the job of the raise. No, they're going to glimpse it back the other direction, and Sim-Mai-Tai is going to turn with the quad bolt. They can't finish him off. He has the regen rune. He's healing right back up, and MyPro's likely to be next. Sim-Mai-Tai devastating the Signature.Trust backlines, and now Lakel's, it's up to him. Can he do it alone? Has another remnant available, hanging onto it, tries for the TP out, and will make it home. So Lakel's getting away, but a bloodbath erupting there down towards the bottom rune, and that Queen of Pain, she's like, great, glimpse me back, I'll just walk the other way, calmly pop my regen rune, and heal right back up.
If Sig.Trust did, SF had the one C raise, if he hit that on the glimpse on the SF, sorry, on the Queen of Pain, it would have been fine, because you could have instantly cancelled the regen and killed the Quap, but...
Or they could have just raised and not glimpse, and I think he wasn't expecting the glimpse and got kind of thrown off by it.
I think they could have killed the Quap there before the regen rune kicked in, but just a slight bit of miscommunication / misplay from the SF Disruptor. Regardless, it's turned out okay for Signature.Trust.
Jumping on the mid lane, look, Cal's getting active now. He will secure yet another kill for the team. Managed to get the chains off Quap, unable to blink out through that. Nice grab for Signature.Trust.
That's your only like mid-game tempo controller dying here as Queen of Pain goes down.
Abba, he wants to maybe bait out this Eclipse. Needs a +1 to go for the kill, but for now just a bit of harassment from the Void as Lee Han-Ki forced to tuck himself back in the trees, and this frees up Lakel as he starts auto-attacking the tower. Little chop here and there, only 80, 90 damage or so per auto attack, but it adds up, especially when nobody wants to defend. And now they try to turn it top lane, snowball forward. Eclipse is available, not wanting to use it just yet, and they might have needed it. Abba carries away, graved up. Great rotation by the Dazzle. Though it ended up not being necessary, and holding onto the Eclipse does end up costing them a kill.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Unfortunate, and well, your 8-minute rune spawning. Quap will grab a regen. See Lakel's farming up his own jungle now, trying to get towards the BOTs most likely. MyPro, he's the man who suffered a little bit in terms of his net worth. Not explosively far ahead, but still the leader overall, courtesy of that 4 and 3 kill score early on. 3 assists to his name. He's been involved in every kill, perhaps not by choice, but more by necessity. Is Kingdom just keep on throwing bodies at the Shadow Fiend mid.
Yeah, it feels like Kingdom have really recognized that MyPro is the big threat, not Lakel's. Yeah, Kells is obviously the big known carry play for Signature.Trust, but he's playing an Ember Spirit, and it's the SF of MyPro which they're more worried about. But MyPro is always finding trades. He goes down, he takes out a core hero with him. He's still maintaining a decent level of farm. He's the top net worth hero. They haven't really shut down the SF despite how much emphasis they put on this mid lane. And with the emphasis they put on mid lane, it's just opened up Lakel's to rotate mid as an Ember Spirit. Like when you're diving heroes like an SF, an Ember Spirit can easily TP and find counter kills.
Dire squad about to see the smoke gangs. Darkness does get pocked, and they walk into it. There's no Winter's Curse as of yet. They get eyes on the Queen of Pain, but can't quite glimpse her back. It's only level 3. Now glimpse her back. The Tusk instead as he TP'd in to rotate. They try to turn this fight, snowballing forward onto Abba. Gets popped by the Queen of Pain. Ult will fall jabs, but TP out Lucivine prevents it. A 5-hero pile up in the mid lane from Kingdom. And then the glimpse back won't matter. Drakan still able to rejoin the fight. And they will push forward. 2 heroes weaker. Looks like Signature.Trust gonna have to give up a tier 1 mid. This is your Luna Deathfall coming into play nice and early with a small Treant contingent assisting on the siege. Doesn't seem like Trust have any desire to fight this.
Yeah, with the Luna Nature's Prophet, it's very early to mid game centric as far as taking down towers before your
Nice grab by MyPro.
opposing teams comes online.
In the face of the Luna Aura, as well as 4 heroes, still gets the deny. Played by him. Precious gold deprived. Or Signature.Trust Kingdom deprived of it, I should say.
This Queen of Pain is very underfarmed here as well. You're looking at about an 800 gold deficit compared to the Shadow Fiend at mid. Using a good timing on any kind of playmaking item like an Orchid. I almost feel like when you're behind the mid opposing Shadow Fiend, you almost want to go for more of a defensive item like a BKB. Or something to get out of the Searing Chains of the Ember Spirit. The Orchid just doesn't really have quite the same impact because of how late it will come online. So we'll see if Queen of Pain still goes for an Orchid, but it feels like an item that will come online too late. Against the Ember, the SF will go for the mech for the team. He's already got the Buckler.
You've got a lot of ways to lock down a Queen of Pain as well. Night Stalker Silence, the Glimpse Static Storm, the Ember Chains can be extremely annoying if you don't have a BKB. So.
And then Prophet's gone all in on this like triple null talisman build, which is totally fine.
7 build.
Yeah,
and it seems like
it's
could be the
well.
blade mail next.
Yeah, it's working well so far. Like not criticizing at all. I think it's been a good pickup and a good way to play the Prophet because of how poorly the early game went with SF finding lots of kills in mid lane. The early rotation's not working, but I mean, Prophet, you don't want the Prophet to be out farming the Queen of Pain. You need to find a way for the Queen of Pain to catch up and be the big... Like, Prophet can go for these utility items, assuming the Queen of Pain gets the big items like the BKB, the Orchid, whatever it may be.
Internet issues persist here as Abba will drop away from the game. He reconnects, and now it's Kingdom's turn to have a little pause. The 1K Furion. Oh boy. That'll make things hard.
Hey.
Press R, sit in your fountain. No problem.
1K's ping is better than 1K MMR on your Furion.
There are limits. At some point. At some point, maybe not. But 1K is still playable for your AFK farming Prophet anyway.
I wonder if Prophet goes to the Orchid instead of Queen of Pain, maybe. Like, he's got the Robe, which could be a Blade Mail as the cheap cost-effective item. Could be
I don't think Blade Mail is actually that good this game, though.
Yeah,
Shadow Fiend, Shadow Fiend's gonna get a BKB. Ember's gonna do damage when Sleight of Fist when he's invulnerable, primarily. Disruptor's very damage over time centric. Doesn't have that much burst. Night Stalker is tanky and will eventually get a BKB. This is to me like the Blade Mail build is great against like a Skywrath Mage or a Lina, Lion type hero, but I think more likely it probably is the Orchid build. As much as I want to see the resurgence of the Bone 7 Dota.
Doesn't strike me as a good blade. And I think like triple null means your blade mail comes online too late. Like if you
Well,
get
Bone 7 would do this build and then get a blade mail though,
Yeah.
if you recall. The
That's
triple
right.
null treads and then a blade mail. But if he didn't crush the laning stage, they usually lost because then your profit is like, what, 6k gold of items, 7k gold of items, and no real utility.
Profit getting Orchid, it means Queen of Pain can go for straight into the Ags or BKB, which means more survivability. And just, I feel like Queen of Pain going for an Orchid, you're super squishy. The Ember Spirit is really good against Queen of Pain as far as finding kills, because you can't blink out at Searing Chains, you've got Silence from Disruptor and Night Stalker. This is kind of game where you want to rush a BKB as a Queen of Pain, or at least go for an Ag Scepter. It doesn't help you against the silences, but it gives, well, it does because you've got HP. Ag Scepter is all about the survivability as well as the fact that you can spam the ultimate to go for solo kills, but you need survivability, which Orchid gives you nothing of. So I don't think Queen of Pain wants to rush an Orchid this game.
No, if he's not rushing anything at this point.
Yeah.
Whatever he's building, he's slowly acquiring it. But as a first item, yeah, it definitely doesn't feel like the ideal crop game.
Be it BKB or Ag Scepter, I think either of those two items is better than an Orchid. I think either is okay. Depends on how you want to transition to the mid game here, which you go for. But it's much better to go for an Orchid on profit than Quap.
Meanwhile, Luna backs off for a Drums of Endurance, the classic 5-man Luna item. Looks like they may want to start grouping, but already Signature.Trust ready with the reply. They're congregating top, 4 heroes grouped up. The lone man not joining the team is MyPro, who may be getting into position soon. Has the mech already grabbed. He's going to TP top.
Yeah, with mech he wants to be with this team, 5-man pushing. They're going to look to take a lot of early objectives.
Honestly, I think Signature.Trust 5-man is as good, if not better, than Kingdoms.
It's scary. For the next 3 minutes while it's nighttime, they can get a lot done.
Not often you see a lineup with centered around a Luna and a Prophet that doesn't want to fight too much early, but this might be where Kingdom have to start ratting it a bit. The Prophet, well, Shadow Fiend will each grab their respective enemy safe lane towers, and now Kingdom who march forward. But this is without the support of the little Luna. Lee Han Ki back to the jungle, doing a smidgen of stacking here. Kingdom smoke up, but vision, aside from seeing Lakel's for a moment, who remnants into his own woods. He's out of mana. This could be the opportunity to grab him, but they didn't actually see him jump here. They now have eyes on him, getting off the Winter's Curse. Nice and early. Queen of Pain will commit. Does drop the ultimate just to be safe, though. In the end, turns out it wasn't necessary. So they do grab the Ember Spirit, but MyPro walking in kind of, hey, what's going on over here? Can I help? How can I be of assistance? Well, you can take a punch to the mouth. That's how. Pro now turning, Abbas arriving at the same moment. He's just picked up his Midas, and the Static Storm is going to catch Lord Boons on the retreat out. Jab's also joining the fight. The mech already committed. They may yet lose their Shadow Fiend. Blink and a scream. A wild miss from Simhall, but that's okay. Cleaning up anyways the Tusk until Lakel's arises. The 2 hero chains. The triple remnant. Bam, bam, wham. And it looks like they'll get Lee Han Ki as well. One more auto tech. So close. So close. Not quite. He gets him in the end. The creep auto tech's getting the job done. And
wow. What a good buyback on Lakel.
4 for 3, I believe.
Yeah. Ember had to buy back, but boy, was that worth it. That...
Probably not quite that good of a gold exchange, more like 1,000 maybe, but they got a ton of experience out of that one.
I think, I feel like they would have only got one of those 4 kills without the Ember Spirit. The Ember Spirit was so important to get at least 2 of those kills, maybe even 3 of the 4 kills. That was the one hero you want to have in this stage of the game in every single possible fight.
Oh, now if you're Trust, you've got a Tricore that's all getting big and beefy. Shadow Fiend just racking up CS as well as being involved in pretty much every kill. The Ember for Lakel's the leader in terms of CS and has the BOTs for maximum farm potential. Then your Night Stalker, Midas just grabbed, and all of a sudden a point booster also acquired. They did get eyes here on Lord Boon's top lane, but looks like Kel's gonna slow roll it. Not sure if there could be somebody smoke behind him, and doesn't really care anyway. Just wants to keep his farm flowing. The whole trade-off with Lord Boons here, but the rest of the team, they want to get aggressive. Moving in, Nature's Prophet going for the TP out. Can they get vision on him in time? Void! Oh, he gets him! How about great reactions there. Now the silence on the Lord Boons has the teleport scroll, but he knows he's not getting out. Glimpse was already committed and will be enough to grab the kill in the end. Meanwhile, bottom, MyPro being pursued, but doesn't seem like Kingdom can commit for that with no Queen of Pain ult. No chance.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
A lot of aggression here from both squads early on. Lakel's moving past the tower top lane. He wants to cut the wave a bit to allow the creeps to chip away. Also have the defensive remnant back in the trees. Always good to see that. Kingdom. An early Ogre Club grab by Drakan. That is an uncommon Tusk pickup.
Yeah, it doesn't really go into any of your common everyday Tusk items. No Blink, no just Arcane's Mech, no Shadow Blade, whatever it may be. So I guess we'll see what BKB rush from Tusk.
Your classic Sanjin Yasha Tusk. Don't think that's the build.
Yeah, I guess just a straight BKB against the the BKB Requiem and the Ember Spirit. Like a lot of the early game Ember Spirit damage is magic based, so.
Trust want to contest the Roshan. It's a level 2 Luna Eclipse they're walking into without vision. This could be trouble. My Pro looking to get off that Requiem before anything too bad happens, but already the Aegis grabbed by the Queen of Pain. Lord Boone's going to quickly TP out, going to cancel it. Now jabs. He gets fogged and can't find the vision. He drops the Static Storm, but there's no follow-up to hold heroes in position. Seems like Kingdom will just walk away with a free Disruptor on top. Nope, maybe not, Lakel says. He jumps back in, the Winter's Curse comes through Luna. The Eclipse already committed, now rolling forward and just trying to get the kills done with auto attacks, but Drakan will fall to the mashing claws of Abba. The Shadow Fiend popped as an exchange, and for 1 overall, and looking for a bit more Boom Bell. Yeah, nope, gets canceled. Luna grabbed him as well. A 3-for-1 and an Aegis. Kingdom coming out way on top, and they still hold the Aegis to the dust side.
And could have been so much worse if not for that nice grave onto the Ember to keep him alive, allowing the TP out. So nice little Roshan claim, and they really kind of Kingdom are going all in-ish with their item build, going for a Drums Luna, going for the early Roshan, but they're recognizing that Signature.Trust. I mean, that's how they're playing the Ember with the Boots of Travel build. They can't fight these early game item builds coming out from their heroes. They don't have an answer to like a Drums, Helmland Dominator, Treads build on a Luna, the Prophet's going for a fast Orchid. Very much a Signature.Trust build that wants to play for the late game. So you want to fight them now if you're a Kingdom, and that's where going for an early Roche like this really plays into your benefit.
Yeah, didn't quite have the Night Stalker Ags, else that Roche approach may have been a hell of a lot easier. But Amba is closing in on it now. Only 1,000 gold or so to go, more like 900, as he'll grab his next teleport scroll. Queen of Pain, meanwhile, about to complete her BKB. We'll see Luna going back into the Dominator, so Lee Hunky not rushing his own Black Team bar. He's focusing on a bit of extra farming potential, so they will continue to press in here. Signature.Trust looking for the bottom tier 1, but Lakel's, whoop. You see me, now you don't. Abba, almost caught out by the shards, not quite though. He's able to very placidly just walk away. It is the Orchid build from the Prophet, as we discussed, so
yeah,
not going to be something the Queen of Pain grabs, but they now have a little bit of control for Lakel's, and it's like he is most likely going Battle Fury, so there could be quite a window to punish the Ember Spirit.
I like the build up from the two here. Queen of Pain able to tank up. We'll go for the BKB, not the Scepter. I think either would have worked out between those two items. So the BKB is like the defensive item, which allows you to be ultra aggressive because you can just blink into these what looks like awful positions. You can just go. I mean, you can follow up here as like Tusk with a. If Snowball wants to take you in the middle of a fight, you're fine because you with a BKB. So
let's go vampire hunting. Kingdom take down on Amba. 410 gold. The bounty as they end the killing spree. An easy smoke rotation, and immediately they start pushing in the wave. Yep. So Kingdom, good rotations, good follow-up. See how does Signature.Trust respond? Looks like they want to rat a little bit. Not yet ready for those big team fights with Aegis still up for 2 minutes. Doesn't seem like the best time to try to force something if you're Trust.
No, Trust will look to pick up another item or two. Ember Spirit especially still looking to really complete that first Battle Fury, and
he's on very good pace here. Lakel's with 151 CS. If this man knows how to do one thing, it is definitely hit creeps. He's actually been pretty active this game though. 2-1-4, but has joined a lot of fights. The fights he hasn't joined were losing propositions, so he's done a good job not on hemorrhaging deaths. Shadow Fiend, My Pro also there atop this net worth chart. And his BKB is coming soon, and well, that's where you look at Kingdom. Do they have the physical damage to bring a Shadow Fiend down? Even if they get off a curse, if he's KB'd, he's not going to be easy.
It does feel like a 3-core versus 2-core lineup with Kingdom having the extra core hero in some ways, but
well, Night Stalker's a Midas though.
Yeah,
so he's looking like a pretty core type hero to me.
And like a Night Stalker with an Ag Scepter, the vision advantage, even if you're not like dishing out damage like a core hero might, the vision just allows you to pick and choose fights and get positioning advantage in those fights to the extent where you're going to come out on top. So I guess that's where like heroes like Disruptor can really shine, because you can set up nicer static fields or static storms. So
they're gonna fight on the top lane. The Orchid debut. I think the first time he's actually gotten to use it this game is Boom Bell. The snowball gets blown up. They now nuke Abba. Kingdom continuing to pressure, but lacking their Tusk. Going high ground could be a bit risky. Seems they want to. There's the call. The ping comes out. Creeps quickly destroyed. Catapult still sticking around, and what a time for a BKB from the Shadow Fiend. They are hunting top lane. Soon after Lakel's, but no vision any longer. Be a blind hunt if they continued on, and they are pursuing, but very slow Tusk, just plodding after Lakel's. Looks like he's not.
I'm not sure what this Ogre Club does for the Tusk. I think Kingdom have played this game exceptionally well. Taking Roshan at a really good time. The itemization from Prophet and Queen of Pain I think has been perfect, but Tusk Ogre Club is not really an item that gives him much. I think going for like either rushing a Blink Dagger, probably rushing a Blink Dagger would have been best, or going for like a Shadow Blade. He needs that initiation item to be able to catch out the Ember Spirit. But all in all, Kingdom's played this game very, very well.
Signature.Trust now smoking up. Does have the Aghanim Scepter. You can see the vision, but doesn't hugely help them when Kingdom are 5-manning, though they will see some of these backliners. Are they going to jump on first? The Sigil does a bit of scouting. Jab's getting into position. Slowly creeping forward, and they're looking to jump. Where's the silence from Amba? Nothing just yet. The Static Storm gets deployed. Fruits will be locked within, prevented from getting off his combination just yet. Can't Witcher's Curse, but it's going to wear off, and they curse my pro after the Requiem. Still a lot of damage from Kingdom, but not sufficient. Lakel's on the cleanup duty. Running in, poking Fruit, slashes down the Wyvern's wings. A 2-for-1 initiation of the Night Stalker Ags. Not perfect by any means, but good enough as they look for a glimpse. Khan trying for the TP out. They don't have the vision. He's in the trees like hells. It's too late to find him. We'll walk away.
I mean, just recognize that as long as they allow the SF to go for Requiem, it's not going to secure a kill on its own, but it sets up kills. And the only thing that can stop it was the Winter's Curse. So Night Stalker just used his crippling fear on Wyvern and allowed everyone else to
And even though
run in.
they cursed him, it was after Requiem. So you still get the damage reduction. Kingdom really not able to burst anybody in that fight, and I guess Eclipse went off, but I hardly saw the impact of it.
I did not notice the Eclipse at all. I didn't even realize Eclipse was cast that fight, so...
Yeah, the same thing on the Roche Pit. I felt like it was pretty underwhelming there as well, but... Well, Luna still farming up the stacks now. Let's see, anything new picked up? Oh, BKB.
Okay.
So, very, very straightforward, classic Luna grab, but... Meanwhile, Ember Spirit going into more...
And
late game items now.
And when you look at these like carry versus carry matchups, when you've got an Ember Spirit, it's less about how the Ember and the opposing carry matches up and more about the supports versus Ember. Have you got heroes like Lion, heroes that can provide lockdown for the Ember? Because to kill an Ember, less about what carry you have and more about what lockdown you have coming out from your supports, which is kind of like Luster. Kingdom have a Winter's Curse, which is good, but that's about it. They've got a Winter's Curse, the Ember, but that's also a spell they want to use on the Shadow Fiend.
Let's see if Lord Boons is paying attention. He's gonna have 0.75 seconds here. Not enough. Down he goes. That's a tough one to cancel. That brutal stuff, really.
Yeah.
Every little kill like that just gives Trust time, and it does feel like Kingdom are on the clock for a pushing strat to only be up 2.5k gold and to be down 5k experience at 25 minutes. Not bode particularly well for their late game, especially not with a Night Stalker likely to grab a gem soon. Just now completed his treads. Gotta worry a bit for Kingdom here, gods.
Can try transition to more of like a Bulldog-esque Rat Prophet with like the Ags Refresher Octarine after the Orchid, and play that kind of more split push focused game, but. And they're like him with like what Quap, Prophet, Luna. They've got three good late game core heroes and a decent late game support in the Wyvern plus Tusk.
They're just not farming very well.
And it feels overall, Signature.Trust will be able to pick them off using the Night Stalker Vision, the Disruptor Glimpse, Static Storm, the Ember Spirit, who can also take advantage of the Night Stalker Vision, so...
I feel like the big thing for Kingdom is getting the double Hex. If they can get a Hex on Prophet and Quap, then you have solutions for Ember, but it seems like Lakel's might be going into a Linken's here.
Yeah, nice item. Or even the Orchid, I mean the Mantis style, sorry, against the Orchid of the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, but some sort of defensive item, which makes it a bit trickier to lock them down in these upcoming team
And I think if you go Hex on Prophet, you're all in on the like, hey, let's lock down Ember so we can kill him, rather than... I think you want to play your game rather than play like, let's counter their play, let's play, like, how do we win this game? If you're Kingdom, the best way to win this game is through being able to split push using the, and tank up on the Prophet using the Ag's pressure build.
A wild dazzle. Boombell leading a parade down the river, and it's straight into Abba, who kind of watched it happen, did get caught by the shards, now they roll forward onto him. Disruptor in good position here potentially, but Chai will lead forward, and it looks like Abba will be going down here. Self-Grave delays it for a bit. Boombell could be next. Grave already committed, has nothing left in the bank. One more auto tech. Here in charge. Lobbed out, though not necessary in the end. So a 2-0. Stalker down. Neither hero, actually, excuse me, Dazzle does have the buyback. Night Stalker no, though. They're a sieging. All right, can MyPro hold this? Purse still available. Yep. Gonna be tricky for your Shadow Fiend. Purse out in position. Now the Static Storm coming out to try and protect him, but it's too late. They've already gotten in nice and close. And they finish him off with the mass BKBs. Eclipse rains down, though. More for show here than for actual damage. And now Ember looks to get involved. Sleight of fisting through is going to be enough to finish off Lee Hunky. And now it looks like they may have overextended Remnant forward. Sleight of fist combined with the chains in 1 second's time. It is available, and he just grabs Lord Boons, who quickly tries to the TP out. Raze will prevent it together with the Remnant. And now they hunt for a bit more. Glimpse was already used, unfortunately. And Drakon will cover his own retreat. So they end up grabbing 2 on the way. Yeah. Be good exchange there, though. They did have to buy back the Shadow Fiend for that.
Yeah. I guess kind of maybe ultimately about even between the two teams with an SF buyback being committed. SF, who was the one of the top net worth heroes on the, as far as the game is concerned before that play, so...
Is the Linken's for Lakel's already complete, so now locking him down becomes a chore, to put it mildly.
I still just worry about Prophet's late game if he goes for this Orchid Hex type play, because yeah, you've got the lockdown for a Ember or a SF, but you haven't got that late game split push / carry type item that an Aghanims or another type of item could provide you.
Hells will take an uppercut, then jumps back, starts farming creeps. Boombell's like, where'd my team go, guys? Come back! Nobody there to save him. Hells will just run away. Can't even really say he was out of position. The team just ditched.
Yep.
Abba gonna farm up the jungle. We still have not seen the gem yet, though. Something that... Oh, I was like, hey, speak of the devil. Now we've seen a gem. Die a happy man. Kingdom might not be so happy. And they see a couple of heroes. Night Stalker, he knows what's up and has the Quelling Blade to do some dewarding. Cute pickup for Abba. Roshan now down to about a third HP. Lakel's wants to commit into this. He's going to get caught by a snowball down the middle of the river, and now they're going to silence him as well. Lakel's may end up going down here. Static Storm committed, but the BKBs allow Kingdom to plow right through it. MyPro now thinking about a Requiem. Ember has bought back, quickly looking to rejoin the fight. The Roche dropping into critical threshold here. Lee Hunky so low, and even if he does BKB now, if he doesn't have the Eclipse available, and they're going to be able to raise him down, it looks like a short-range raise committed. He will fall, doesn't even try to Eclipse, will drop, and Fruits looking for the Rochette deal, and jumps as well, the Queen of Pain, but it's the Radiant that grab it. MyPro the one to take the prize. The Aegis for him. Shadow Fiend coming out on top. A train wreck of a Roche fight for Kingdom. They lose 4 heroes just for an Ember buyback, ends their Aegis, ends the Roche kill.
Yeah, Ember got so low after that, and that would have been, in some ways, a dieback from Lakel's as well after the previous buyback, and SF was also, like, on the back foot, so... Securing Roche and getting those 4 kills was just massive for Signature.Trust.
Lakel's wanted to maybe do a bit of farming top lane. Did cancel his boots of travel, so he'll continue to press in bottom instead. Chipping away at the creeps, trying to force that Nature's Prophet back, and Lord Boons is reconsidering his life here, as he's not ready to fully commit his hero. He'll chip away at the tower a bit, end up going in, so in the end, Signature.Trust getting some more items now. Sanji and Yasha to come out for your Shadow Fiend. I went for the double Midas. Don't think we mentioned the Jabs Midas yet, but he did pick one up. Well on his way to an Aghanim Scepter. Perhaps see the long-awaited return of the Aghanim's Refresher Disruptor. Something not yet scouted since FY pulled it off on Vici Gaming maybe 2 years ago. Don't think that's ever happened since in a pro game.
It's one of those things where if you ever do manage to farm it up, it's just absurd how good it is. You can take a core hero out of a fight for 10 seconds straight. Because there are some of those heroes, like you look at this dire side, heroes like Luna or Quap, which rely on their items, like being able to cast a BKB. If Luna can't get off an Eclipse BKB, if Quap can't get off a Sonic Wave BKB, these heroes are just a non-factor.
They did get some aggressive wards up, some incredible aggressive wards actually. If you look at the Radiant Vision now, they pretty much see everything in Dire Land. They don't see their own jungle, but they can scout Kingdom slowly trickling into Radiant territory. Perhaps we'll see Trust look to punish soon. They are potentially about to jump on Jab's mid. He'll TP out, playing it safe, and we'll make it home intact. And now you look at Kingdom. They've got triple BKB. They complete the Queen of Pain Hex, closing in on the Nature's Prophet Hex. But nobody really building farming items, just a single Helm of the Dominator and Yasha on the Luna, no Midases for Kingdom. You can see the results here in the graph. If there are even trades, if the kill score is even, if the tower advantage is minimal, we Trust way out on top. 7,500 gold lead, 16,000 experience lead. Yeah. They're in cruise control.
Kingdom just need that late game carry, which, I mean, Luna, yes, is kind of a late game carry, but it doesn't... You can't play that kind of hard carry type style late game. Like, and Nature's Prophet going for an Ags this game, I feel like could have given them a really solid point to transition into.
The full Bulldog build even? Your Octarine, Midas Refresher
You
Prophet.
get so tanky with that build. You can fight really well. You're not that squishy against like the Ember Spirit when he tries to go on you. You don't need... It's less about the disable against the Ember Spirit and more about just being tanky and being able to split push and not die if you get caught out. But I mean, if you get caught out, there's a Night Stalker with Ag's Vision, like a nighttime Ag's Vision and Ember Spirit Disruptor. Like if you get caught out, you're dead regardless of how tanky you are. But you fight so well with the Ag's build.
It makes it a little safer for Luna to get out on the map, and that is really where Luna doesn't have the farming potential of a say an Ember Spirit or an Anti-Mage. She gets caught, she's got no escape. BKB TP maybe, but that's an expensive way to farm a wave or two.
They've got, what, Orchid on the Prophet, Winter's Curse, and the Walrus Punch. They've got 3 kind of like insta-disables. I don't feel like the Hex on top of that was necessary, at least not until you enter the late game. So, at least before the Hex, you could have gotten an Ags and then decided, hey, I've got an Ags as well as an Orchid now. Do I go for a Hex? Do I go for an Octarine? Do I go for a Refresher?
Speaking of Lakells, now you see him, now you don't. Already rolling towards him. Tusk was ready to engage. Didn't even pop the Lincolns though. And they'll also hunt towards bottom. They see Lee Honki has BKB but has no teleport scroll. Can glimpse him here to at least force out that charge. The Void follows this one up. Remnant on top. Now he BKBs and continues to retreat. Further Remnants continue pursuit. He doesn't even get to TP home. And that is the danger of split pushing with the Luna. Goes out on her own without her parents' approval, and you know, dead.
No BKB, no buyback, so
that's what you get for breaking curfew. Listen to your loved ones.
They've gone all in on the disable here. Like Quap going for a Hex, Prophet going for a Hex.
Speaking of Hex, might want to use it here, Simwall. He is going to now. Pops the BKB, turns on Abal. They'll roll the snowball forward, but meanwhile, looks like Ember Spirit was thinking about some follow-up. They are going to get away in the end. Night Stalker BKB to retreat out. The Siege runs a little bit less than half damage to the tower. Lakel's big crit coming through. My Pro forced retreat. He'll BKB. Looks like Kingdom have them on the run, but without Luna's Eclipse. Kingdom very hesitant to walk in. They'll chain up the Nature's Prophet. Still thinking about breaching high ground here. Trance giving them a nice bit of vision, and will be allowed to get away. But Tukan glimpse back. He'll try to snowball forward and dodge that one, and will be successful though. He's in pretty far now. He's gonna have to BKB and return. Lakel's also jumping back in, now also retreating out. And in the end, Signature.Trust, they just get away with whatever they want. Kill the Luna, dive in bottom, BKB, run away, juke and jive, and just can't be punished.
Signature.Trust just showing a bit more polish in their decision making. For a long time, like the early to mid game, Kingdom were holding their own, were finding little ganks here, their individual plays were carrying them on, but once we get to this stage, like 30 minutes plus, where it's much more about the overall big picture, team decision making, where and when you smoke, where do you, like, when you go for those kind of like smoke ganks into pushes, that's where Sig.Trust just have a better overall understanding and have pulled ahead now.
And Kingdom, it feels like they're lacking for the physical damage as well. Got a Luna with now building into a Satanic, so very defensive on her. Quap, very utility focused, does get a Hex in the mid lane onto jabs. Can't quite even finish up for the kill. A little short glimpse back there in the Queen of Pain, but they just don't have much just pure BKB piercing damage power here.
And especially when you've got double Hex, you want to be able to like, hey, we Hex these heroes, let's kill them off. But the follow-up damage isn't there for these Hexes on the side of Kingdom.
Unless they catch someone before they BKB. Yeah. That's the main way I see Kingdom getting kills here. Did work before on the Shadow Feed.
They are poking the high ground. This is ambitious. They'll get a tier 3 tower, but I don't see any way they get a Rax.
Oh, looks like they may want to try to cancel TPs here. Li Hongqi has not used his just yet, but Ember Spirit was doing work
nice
back in the Dire base. The kills will arrive. He quickly remnants up to the high ground. MyPro held a position looking for the Requiem before the fight gets too south for them to take. Is going to skate away. The Glimmer Cape helping to keep him alive ever so low. Urge Charge will pop him. 2 heroes down. The full complement of teamfight spells committed here. Signature.Trust look to hunt down a fleeing squad of extremely squishy Kingdom heroes. They're all gonna make it out, it seems. One, no, not Lord Boons, I jinxed him. He's not getting back, but Fruits maybe a bit luckier. Sleight of Fist comes through, and Boons is gonna drop. Still, they force out the Shadow Fiend buyback. They get 2 kills. They break the tower.
Okay.
Committed almost everything there, though. There's no Eclipse right now, no Winter's Curse. Not bad timing for Trust to push in.
Yeah. For Trust, I mean, Roshan's still not up, I believe, so they're not going to be able to get a Rosh out of this, but they're very much feeling confident in their late game. They've got the SF as well as Ember, and SF who's going to be very tanky. If you're lacking damage, like, you can Hex the SF, but have you got the damage to bring him down during the Hexes, during the Winter's Curse? And that's where Luna going for a Satanic isn't going to help them out.
They also have Dazzle with Ember, and that's, like, disgusting late-game physical damage. Especially if you're getting sieged. Very likely you hit that 4-5 hero.
And Dazzle is unlikely to ever get caught out inside the Winter's Curse. Dazzle's positioning like is very important, but it's also not particularly difficult. So assuming you get Grave off on an Ember, you can't finish, like, you curse him, you get a few heroes on him, you try and Hex him up, but likely he's going to be able to Fire Remnant out during the Grave and then come back to the fight and clean up. So the Dazzle Ember is a really nice duo to have in late game.
Here comes the smoke. Kingdom moving in. Vision right now, they see absolutely nothing.
It's still nighttime, and that's where Sig.Trust
smoke is going to break on Simmaw. And he thinks there's a hero off in the jungle, but actually,
I think so.
There's Abba in the trees. That good. Now the Blink, your Blink Stalker.
Okay.
Maximum map control, mobility here. Rat, potentially what they really have in mind. Be able to easily deward the map. Quap Blink forward again, but Boobell just scurries away to the base. And Trust doing a good job of keeping these lanes pushed in. So even if they lose a hero, they're not likely to lose a lane of Rex off of it.
Kingdom keeping this game pretty close here.
Definitely the case. Only a 5k gold lead, but the experience advantage. Boy. Oh, mama. Those 2 Midases. Back and forth kill trades.
Yeah. Ember's pretty...
Not even close.
Ember's just having a sick game here. Lakel's top of the net worth and highest level by a good margin.
Well, I mean, something we talked about. The SCA teams generally are not running Ember, so... At the same time, I'm sure a lot of them watched MLG and they're like, okay, maybe Ember's a hero that we should be valuing more. Kind of what happened after TI5, where a lot of the Tier 2, Tier 1.5 teams who didn't quite make it or didn't do very well there, all of a sudden they're picking a lot of the flavor of the month heroes that did so well on the big stage and Key Arena.
Yeah. When the top 4 teams in the world are all like first pick / second picking Ember, you look at, well, at least as far as MLG went, CDEC, EG, Secret, and Monkey all prioritize Ember as a first 2 pick. Less so EG, but the other 3 teams all first pick Ember.
Maybe less so EG now as well.
Yeah.
Not even the best RTZ, but the pick just does not seem to be working out for them.
But it's very much like, oh, you've got to be able to play this hero. Also, that's I'm sure what a lot of teams took away from ESL One's like, oh crap, you've got to be able to play Brood. If you can't play Brood, what's like you're doing something wrong as a team.
Yeah, it does feel like teams also have gotten better at figuring out how to deal with the Brood picks, though.
Yes, Brood was much less successful at MLG compared to ESL One.
Well, 40 minutes in here, Trust holding a 1-0 advantage. It looks like an overwhelming experience lead, but we all know how quickly the experience can rubber band. Gold, not so much, but flip on its head with one really bad team fight.
And the experience is always, to me, like, you look at the experience lead and I look at the hero levels, I'm like, Dire's not actually missing that many key hero levels. Like, who actually needs more levels? Yes, levels correlates to stats and how, like, tanky you are, how, like, your mana pool isn't really a big deal, but more like your HP.
Think of the buyback.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that too. I mean, your higher level, your buyback is actually more expensive, but the only, like, what, key level they're missing is maybe, like, a level 16 on, like, Nature's Prophet.
Oh, Queen of Pain, she's been found out here, quickly dropping to physical damage. She gets kept alive by the Wyvern for now, put under the Cold Embrace. Requiem being channeled, and the curse was committed on Lakelz, who's taking no damage during this time. Into the backlines rushes Abba, bashing away at some of these support heroes. One man zoning out 4. He may have slightly overextended now, but he's bought his team time to finish off the Luna, who is trapped on her own, graved up by Abba. Beautiful zoning play from the Night Stalker. Now they'll glimpse back the Wyvern, isolating fruits in the trees. Just a casual Void blink away. Can he get off a Splinter Blast? No, not quite yet. Auto attack damage, way too much, and Lakelz will finish the job. A 3-for-1, and for me, the MVP, definitely Abba. Runs in on 4 heroes as a Night Stalker, single-handedly drives them all back, and then the Luna just gets completely left on her own.
Yeah. I mean, Abba's had a big game in general. Did play the, what, kind of pseudo safe lane farming Night Stalker in some ways. Like, he's been granted a lot of farm ability to transition this game, but that's going to secure Signature.Trust their first lane of racks. Oh, Plop. Luck maybe forced
has the BKB, yeah, and the Hex.
Will be forced. This is a BKB blink kind of scenario.
She's not saving her base though.
Yeah, sure. And that's that's a defensive BKB just to save your life and not to fight with. So you BKB blink away and then they take your racks, which is not just a range racks. It looks like should be a melee racks.
Well, Trust looking good here in the early stages of the SEA bracket.
Yep. And this is I think, first round of the lower bracket. It's like an 8-team double M bracket, so even when you go to the lower bracket early on, it doesn't really spell your demise. We've seen Signature.Trust take games off, like, MVP. We've seen him take games off Mineski, so they can definitely compete with the top SEA teams. And this SEA qualifier, I feel like, could go, like, to Fnatic, Mineski, Trust, MVP. There's kind of like a number of contested in there. It's Kingdom who are probably one of the outliers who you don't really expect to be making it into the top.
And then you've got teams like Fnatic who, though they made it into the major, it was not very impressively. Yeah. Might be on the way down, and well, perhaps some of these young upstarts can topple Team Mushi.
Oh yeah. I mean, Mineski already did it in the majors, so even though Fnatic made the majors, but they made it in second to Mineski, so...
Chrissy's back is only so strong. I mean, I know he's been working out, but geez.
The Pinoys are getting first and second, I guess you could say, with how well Chrissy's playing.
Definitely not the player that your average fan would have expected to carry Fnatic, but you don't think Chrissy's the MVP for that team. You haven't been watching them play.
Oh, yeah. I want to give Mushi has been playing that captain role, so like you look at like the
as far as just pure individual play. Obviously, Mushi may have a larger role behind the scenes.
A captain for a team traditionally will always like not perform as well individually. Like S4 and a lot of the teams he's played for, especially over the last year or two, has been less impressive because he's trying to captain and lead them in other ways. So his maybe individual play has suffered, but
seems like he's been on a resurgence lately. Perhaps just more comfortable with the heroes that he has for Alliance, as well as his overall role. We did see him in more of a farming role at times on Secret, Queen of Pain type heroes, rather than his old school Pucks or Magnuses of ages gone by. Yeah, Magnus. It was fun to see that from Secret at MLG. You know, Magnus PA duo.
Magnus is maybe going to become relevant. It's a hero that doesn't really feel like it needs a buff. It just needs like a metagame shift.
Yeah, man, he's just so, if those melee like turbo farming carries that just want a free Battle Fury are in vogue, he's just disgusting, honestly.
Yes. A lot of the melee carries are hard to fit in because of all the aggro dual lanes you get, like the offlane dual lanes, which are where the melee carries really struggle. So you're better off picking like these
Queen of Pains, or even at least someone who can fight
like
a little more early.
Ember, like an Ember. Yes, Ember's a melee carry, but he's not like a traditional melee carry in how he play. Like he doesn't benefit that much from. He does benefit from Magnus, but it's not like the same way a PA does or an anti-mage.
Well, Ember
does.
can flash farm, so he doesn't need Empower to farm the way that, like a PA might. He can actually go clear stacks. He can also fight for kills very early with little items, whereas PA can if she's like in a 3v1, but if it's a true team fight, PA can easily get out of position and die. And
we've seen a few Svens. I wonder if Sven's gonna. I mean, Sven seems like a hero that may stick around as I don't know about topic, but
I don't know. Ever since the PL stopped getting picked, seems Sven is fallen off a bit in popularity, though perhaps not in strength.
He's good against the Meepos, and we're seeing Meepo more and more.
Against all the poof damage?
No, less
it's not like that's most of Meepo's damage until like what, like 30 minutes or so.
He's got an AoE stun. I think it's more about the AoE stun factor of him. And then if you want to run him as a carry, he's obviously great with the cleave and able to. He keeps up in farm with Meepo. To me, countering a Meepo, like I play a lot of Meepo, the two things which are a pain in the ass to verse is single target burst damage and AoE stuns. It's less like AoE damage is not a problem. Like Liches does not counter Meepo, but AoE stuns are a pain, and that's what Sven Stormbolt is. And then single target burst damage, which Sven also has. Like yes, cleaves, but the God Strength plus Mask of Madness is very much like single target burst damage. So heroes like Lina own Meepo because it's target burst in the same way Sven does.
Just don't get caught with your BKB on cooldown.
yeah.
Then you're gonna pay.
And you're
5 poofs with Mask of Madness on, and you will be the one going poop.
We saw, I think it was Secret pick Meepo early on, and they didn't even ban Ember afterwards because they just knew they could snowball so hard with Meepo that Meepo would come online before Ember even had a Battle Fury. So it feels like these teams are really finding the exact right timings with certain heroes. Kind of cool to see.
So what do we have on the docket for the rest of today, gods? I believe next it's Liquid versus...
We got Alliance, I think, first. Maybe.
Oh, there's an Alliance match first.
Alliance versus Stark?
Alliance versus Stark, and then Liquid versus Vega, is it?
Yes. Vega should be really good.
Big old rumble in Europe. Some of the most well-performing teams as of late, actually.
I mean, Liquid, despite not qualifying for the majors, were a team who I look at as being like ridiculously strong right now. It had a bad, like to me, that was just like okay, they didn't have they had a bad showing, and some of the teams they lost to, you look at Alliance, as well as Monkey Business, just played like the tournament. Like Monkey Business just played the best played since they formed this roster.
Oh, my alarm clock's just started going off.
LD, you got to cast in 25 minutes. You've also casting now.
Well, somebody decided to have a wild karaoke party downstairs at 5 a.m. Not sure who that might have been, but it was loud. It woke me up. So here I am casting Dota 2.
all the better.
I feel like I'm living in a frat house, guys.
The Dota frat house dream lives on. You're just inspiring upcoming casters out there, like, oh, I gotta become a caster because I can live the frat life outside. You live the frat life at college, and then you go past college, and you're still living the frat life.
Yeah, maybe some people make up for lost time that didn't join frats. I guess I don't know. Was anyone here in a frat? I don't think so. I have a fraternity T-shirt from my brother. Everyone thinks I'm in the frat because I wear it occasionally.
Wasn't Brian in a frat? Like, he was in one of those, like...
No, but he went to a school where there was a ton of...
Oh, okay.
Oh, maybe he was, actually.
I think he was. He was in one of, like, the frats that, like, the... quote-unquote
the nerd frat?
Yeah, the nerd frat, where it wasn't, like, all about the
Or maybe it was that he goes there to hang out a lot. That may have been the case. But, yeah. So there was, What were you guys karaokeing? Was it good, at least?
No.
No?
90s hits.
90s hits.
There was some... What? No, I don't even remember anymore. Goo Goo Dolls, some Vertical Horizon in there.
Oh, some old classics.
Yep.
Songs, you know, that would just, when you're feeling a little emo in high school, you just pop it on and
oh yeah,
strum your guitar slowly by yourself in a cold, dark room.
Been there, done that. No comment, LD.
But yeah, we're waiting on someone from Kingdom to reconnect here, guys. Looks like Trust in very good position to take this 2-0. And then would move on. I think it's what, into the round of 4, is it, or the round of? I think this is actually the round of 8 that they would move into. I believe they were not
round 1 of the lower brackets.
Oh, the lower bracket.
They get the guaranteed top 6.
Oh Jesus! What did you do?
Typed in Wikipedia and that didn't...
I think you typed it in wrong because you're getting all kinds of horrible errors.
Yeah, I'm getting.
Gods can't even browse the internet.
I can't even close this window. Oh God.
Are you and there's like sound going here? Just force close Chrome, dude. Getting viruses on our computers. Manager.
Go. System error warning.
What did you do?
I tried to type in Wikipedia Dota, and I guess Wikipedia's been hacked / my spelling is bad. Wikipedia.
I'm gonna guess your spelling was probably bad.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, your spelling was definitely bad.
My spelling was bad.
Typical Aussie.
Look, we spell
Can't
stuff
speak
differently.
English. Can't type English.
Oh, we spell stuff our own way. We're
Squirmish.
town. I'd like to claim that was an Aussie
That's
thing.
just a godsism.
So winner of this will go on to face the loser of.
Don't they switch at this point?
First to patch Mineski, I believe.
Yeah.
So
I imagine Mineski definitely heavily favored in that one. The other match is, to me, something that could be close potentially with Fnatic not playing all that great right now.
Did beat 1-2. Like that was the qualifying match where they 2-0'd 1-2-3, but it's one of those things where Fnatic's not playing that well, but they're still better than like everyone in SEA outside.
I'm just so tired of the Mirana picks. Like,
yeah.
Every game Mushi's just like, all right, let's go Shadow Demon Mirana. That's not because it works doesn't mean that's the combo.
I see Fnatic play. I'm like, they're not actually playing that well, or they don't look that strong, but they're playing.
And the arcane boots, man, I cannot stand like the core Mirana arcane boots.
Yeah.
You don't need them. Point. You can get by with Rate of Aquila, Treads, Bottle easy. Magic Wand if you really want some extra mana.
Or you just don't pick Mirana core.
Or ideally you don't pick Mirana core, yeah. Or Mirana at all. Just don't pick Mirana.
So
she did get a couple of buffs. I'm sure she can be a strong hero, especially if you use the Moonlight Shadow well, but
yeah, and he doesn't get Moonlight Shadow until like level 9.
That's the thing. I've seen him get it earlier like once or twice, but it's like yeah, sometimes he just waits way too long for that.
That to me is why you might want to play
that
Mirana.
Or the arrow for like early game like banks and lane dominance.
You've got Global Glimmer Cape and a arrow to help out mid lane at level 1, level 2. But you only get the arrows for mid if you're playing a support branch. So if you're a core Mirana, you want to get Moonlight Shadow level 6. But
Lacos? Okay, he's gonna hoof it back to Rush. Drop the Remnant in the pit, then Remnant into the one that was off near the Dire base. Fortunately, nobody waiting for him. They are all just now respawning. Aban will be the man in front, taking up the Roach for the greater good, and seems the Aegis will be going the way of Trust now. Let's see who's gonna grab it. Ping's coming out. Cheese for Lakells, Aegis for MyPro, and Signature.Trust after a very long pause. Back on track here for what could very well be a 2-0 sweep. Still not down to racks, though mid is exposed. A lot of gold to spend on a couple of these heroes.
Dire comeback potential is available, I guess. You've got good high ground defense with the Winter's Curse. Try to try and play the split push game using Prophet. And we could... this is where if I'm Nature's Prophet, very much thinking about that transition to more of the split push build. It may be too late to go for an Aghanim Scepter, but...
I think they just push... At this point, they clear creeps too fast. Like, that build to me works when you're either... It's early, and they don't have good wave clear, or if you're up a racks or two. But now you're down a rack.
Ag seems particularly good on NP when you're getting it early on and rushing it, so... We'll see. For now, Kingdom have their work cut out for them. They've got to defend a high ground push against an Aegis Shifting. They've already lost one lane of racks. That to me is the biggest problem now. It's not that you're against a high ground siege coming out from Signature.Trust, which is really powerful. It's like you're down a lane of racks. Even if you defend this and trade 50-50, you're still down a lane of racks.
Moving in now, MyPro on the top lane wants to engage, gets caught. Lucent Beam, not enough to deter him though. He will stick around and continue the siege. Up to 3,800 gold. Jabs right behind him, has completed the Aghanim Scepter. Gotta blink after it. Haven't really seen the big Aghanim's ultimate come into play here, but with Kingdom relying heavily on their triple BKB to even walk into the fight, this could be dangerous. Now the jump forward, Abba quickly engages, baits out one BKB, then just scurries away, boop, 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 backs right off, and then in comes the Wyvern, gets the curse off of MyPro, but he's the Aegis carrier, and not even dead once yet. The Glimmer Cape keep him alive. He turns and starts chunking down fruit, turns on the Lord Boost. Nobody can fight the wrath of MyPro, and now Grave kept alive even longer, and Lakel goes in for cleanup duty, dropping the Remnant, perhaps on the retreat out. Shadow Fiend still not dead, 37 health, 10 health, at long last will take down, but the Ember Spirit's absolutely fine. They come back now, they still have a cheese bell, but he may have to pop it, critting his way right through the Hearts of Kingdom, and then the Requiem, and chasing forward, they do silence the kills, trying to prevent him from dishing out the follow-up damage. Kingdom holding decently here, they're even going to buy back, but committing in again as the kills. It's a triple kill, and he's diving for an Ultra. He wants Lord Boost. The snowball coming, and they drag Jabs back. The Ultra's there. Give this man a rampage. He's got it. He doesn't get the double, but he might yet. Jumping into the well, slashing them down. Abba deprives his buddy of the triple rampage. What a terrible teammate. Report that Night Stalker right now. But Signature.Trust still emerge with a 11,000 gold swing.
Come on, dude, it could have been a triple rampage. I think they'll
take the win.
Yeah.
Triple dieback could have been a triple rampage. Yep. That was ugly.
Sig.Trust move on. Kingdom, the first team eliminated from the Southeast Asian qualifier for the Summit 4. Good showing, and good to see some versatility coming up from Sig.Trust. We haven't seen much out of the Lakel's Ember Spirit, but showing something different.
Pretty solid here. I wouldn't say like his individual Ember play was out of this world amazing, but it doesn't have to be a lot of the time in Ember. A solid Ember game can be more than enough to carry your team.
And Kingdom had a really good start this game. It looked like they had a control over the laning stage. They could transition from there. I think Prophet maybe should have gone a different build. The Orchid Hex is too single target focused when you could tank up more with the Ags. That kind of Ags refresh Octarine build we've seen a bit. The Orchid I think is fine. The Hex maybe a bit